Welcome to the Drive Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Attia. If you like this video, please let me know by subscribing to the channel or visiting my website to become a member for more exclusive content.
So we navigated through that. The first year was just the crying at night, and the nights are really dark when you have grief and when you have little kids because they need so much, because they are, at night is when everybody, whether you're an adult, I don't know. I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night, or I used to quite a bit, with just terrible anxiety, and their fear was so big, and I just didn't think I had enough energy to be there for them on my own.
How were you sleeping?
I mean, I don't remember sleeping the first year very much because somebody always needed something the first year at nights.
Such as, meaning the kids themselves
couldn't
sleep?
Somebody would be crying, somebody would be losing it, someone would be not well.
And you slept in 3 different rooms?
Mm-hmm. Well, many times we slept together. My daughter slept with me for a long time after he died, and just she wanted to crawl back in my uterus. Like I thought to myself, like, I'll never be able to leave the house again. Like, my life's over. Like, I'll never be able to have fun again. I'll never be happy again. But amongst all of that, I also thought we're going to be okay. Like there was a knowing somewhere that, like, this was just part of it, but it wasn't always going to be this way, but it felt like it was always going to be this way. So I toggled through hopefulness and just devastation, but I knew we needed to hold on to the fact that this was appropriate and it wouldn't last forever. Like we were built to last. Like, humans are built to last. We aren't the first people who lost their father. I think our generation hasn't lost as many people as generations before. So it's just much more rare for us, and it's more shocking, but this has been happening.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. Like, you sort of imagine, let's just go back in time 10,000 years. Not that
Right.
far, but just 10,000 years.
Perfect.
And it's basically the same thing. It's you and Nate and the kids.
Yeah.
You're hunter-gatherers, so it's a little different. You don't have electricity and all that stuff. But there's certainly a scenario in which Nate gets an infection and dies. There's a scenario in which an animal attacks him. I mean, like, as you said, It's not that uncommon that this would happen. Knowing what you know now, I mean, I've never thought about it this way, but do you get the sense that the Kelsey of 10,000 years ago would have had an easier time with this? And if so, would it have been because of expectations, or would it have been because of the community that you would have been stuck with? Like, you wouldn't have had your own house, for example.
Right. Both. I think the expectation that now everybody lives till they're 90, happily ever after, married with 2 kids and a mom and a dad, that expectation has set us up to be much, much less resilient, because there's this, like, one way, and it's all about joy and fun. Whereas I think 10,000 years ago, you saw people recover all the time from awful things. Babies died, and people went to war, and there was famine. We have so much now that our anxiety is higher than ever before. And I felt that way before he died, because when everything, as opposed to being really joyful when you have
it's
everything.
So counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah. Because now you have everything. You don't want to fall apart. Whereas back then they were like, well, shit, this isn't that good. So whatever, I can handle things. We just don't handle things, and we're not used to feeling extremely uncomfortable anymore. Life is so comfortable. Things are so easy. Not for everybody, obviously. Yeah. For people with resources.
Well, I mean, I think for everybody compared to 10,000 years ago.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And this idea that pain is bad and death is bad, and that's a whole discussion. Now I have a completely different relationship with death. I have a completely different relationship with what it means for the physical body to leave, and that Nate isn't gone, and we didn't get screwed, and there wasn't a right time for him to leave or not. So there's so many nuances that through the last 4.5 years have changed the way I feel. I'm still toggling between all the different ideas around grief. There's a whole, like, my mother-in-law believes, like, I will grieve forever. I will grieve forever. And that's just how it is. And our country wants everyone to be happy, and I'm not happy. And I'm like, that's fine. And that's a choice. I personally now believe, again, I'm back to the football analogy, holding 2 beliefs at the same time. I can be grieving very deeply and very grateful at the same time. They don't have to be one. You don't go through one stage at the other. I miss Nate terribly, and I am so happy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, and I've been through the worst thing ever. And then I had some medical stuff, just I think that came up from grief. And all the things that I was most afraid of, I've made it through, and I am so excited about life. So I don't know.